Hey everybody, it's Keith with the L1 Automotive Training Channel, and in today's Tech Question Quickie video, we have one that's about an interesting idle situation that was solved by cutting a hole in a gasket. So let's see if we can figure out what's really wrong with this car. Alright, if you don't know what a Tech Question Quickie is, it's where you send your questions to TechQuestions@l1training.com and I answer them here. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We'd love to have you stick around. Today's question's from Joel N. Joel says, "Hi, just found you watching Eric Go. I have a 2005 Dodge Neon 2.0 SXT. Problem is idle. When the engine's warming up in park, it idles at around 760 RPMs. That's a pretty accurate measurement you got there. When the car warms up and you come to a stop, example, stopping at a traffic light, the RPMs will go down to around 630 RPM and you feel a vibration. A search on the internet shows a lot of these cars with this problem. One person's idea was to drill an 1/8" hole in the throttle plate. Please don't do that. I'm not crazy about that. I did take the idle air control valve off and cut a small part of the gasket off, about 3/16, and put it back on. Now the car RPMs are steady and around 780 RPMs. I find this interesting. I've worked on cars for 50 years and have my certification here in Michigan. Back problems have stopped me from doing almost all repairs. I attached a replacement gasket marking out the cut in red. Do you have any ideas?" So he sent me a picture of the gasket and he marked with a red marker of where he actually cut it out. So Joel, what I would say is I would put it back to factory just how you had it, monitor fuel trims and kind of see where that's at, then look at you said it's 2005 Dodge Neon, so look at your your desired RPM and actual, look at things like your engine coolant temperature sensor. You're going to look at all these data PIDs and see if there's anything out of place. My assumption is that you probably have some kind of obstruction somewhere, so I would clean the throttle body really, really well. And I don't think 05's too old for it, but if it does have the option to relearn the throttle, do that. I had a very similar situation on a General Motors pickup truck where the customer had actually brought it in for, I think, shocks. It was something very, very routine maintenance-wise. And during our inspection, we found the throttle body to be really dirty and a couple other things. We recommended some maintenance services, which included an induction service. Once I did the induction service and cleaned the throttle body, the idle was really high and uncontrollable. I later found through diagnosis that somebody had drilled an additional hole in the throttle plate. Probably in some kind of way of like what you're hearing about trying to overcome some other problem. So they were trying to band-aid some concern rather than find the root cause. So what I would recommend is try to find why it's doing that without cutting the gasket, without drilling a new hole. You'll probably find that there is some kind of obstruction, a dirty throttle body, a relearn that needs to be done, or some kind of drivability or unmetered air leak problem. Also look at your map vacuum and anything else that could do with the engine load, as that's going to have an effect on how the engine runs and idles. Unfortunately, I don't have a silver bullet fix for you because I'm not that guy, but if you check out that information on scan data, you'll probably find your answer, or at least get a good direction of where to go. And if you're not sure what to look at, you can always compare it to a known good, and that's what you should be doing in your day-to-day work. Not you specifically, Joel, but just any technicians out there. If you're trying to learn how to do drivability and misfire diagnosis and just diagnosis overall, you need to spend a lot of time looking at what good looks like on a scan tool, so when you see bad, it sticks out like a sore thumb. If you want to learn this kind of stuff and other diagnostic or programming or immobilizer and key kind of stuff, head on over to l1training.com, and we've got over 100 hours of training there. And for a small monthly fee, you'll have access to all of it. So, we'll see you there. And Joel, thank you for your question. And if you guys have questions, send your questions to techquestions@l1training.com, and we'll answer them here.